everybody, today I'm once again talking about my unpopular opinions. Now if you're new here, consider to sub and ring the bell. So I did a video like this around 2 months ago, and I have some more unpopular opinions I wanted to share today because I feel like I have some that I haven't even talked about yet. And before I start this video, I want to say that this is probably my best lighting I've ever had on the channel. Like, I have this light up here, and if you guys didn't see the last video, well, I do like that video. It was bad in the lighting department. So I finally have a good light right here. I just have it on a hook, so this is probably the best my lighting has ever been on the channel. So this is probably going to be the permanent setup for now. I think this might be the first video, other than the last video, where I'm going to be filming permanently here. So I think the old setup is going to be gone, and this is going to be the new setup. So I just wanted to mention that real quick. So yeah, let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about, number one, is Times Square is overrated. So I went to New York City in 2019, and honestly, I'm not going to say that New York City is, like, all of it is overrated, but I think the most, like, famous spot there, Times Square, is very overrated in my opinion. Now, I'm not going to say it's bad, but man, it is chaotic. And this was before the pandemic. I am the type of person that I hate crowds, so maybe that's one of the reasons why I didn't like it. But it just was very chaotic, and it seems like a lot of like restaurant chains, and like it felt kind of in a way a tourist trap. And I know some people say that Branson is kind of a tourist trap too, but I don't think it's in the same extent as New York City / Times Square. There's not very many things to do there when there's not anything that you could do anywhere else. So I know that's a pretty unpopular opinion because I know that people would like to move to New York City or something like that. But honestly, I think Times Square is overrated. So yeah, that's number one. Number two is YouTube Shorts is not bad. So I think YouTube Shorts is very overhated. Like, I mean, I know some people compare it to TikTok, but I feel like YouTube Shorts has gotten kind of a bad rap because it's been trying to kind of copy TikTok. And honestly, I don't think YouTube Shorts is that terrible. And I know there's some things that I kind of wish you could do, like skip forward in the video a little bit once something is uploaded. But honestly, YouTube Shorts, I think it's helped some creators grow faster. And I've seen people like put hashtags and stuff in their YouTube Shorts, and I've been more active on there recently, and I feel like I'm getting more support from YouTube Shorts sometimes in my actual videos. So thank you guys so much for supporting me recently. But I just don't think YouTube Shorts deserves the hate that it gets. And I know it's a little bit of a gimmicky type thing because YouTube Shorts is copying TikTok. But honestly, like, YouTube Shorts I think is very overhated, and I think it's actually helped some smaller creators grow into becoming a content creator. So yeah, that's just my opinion. Number three is I don't like DSLR cameras. So I mentioned in a video a couple months ago that I got a DSLR camera from my schools, and I was thinking about maybe shooting the Grad Week documentary with it. But honestly, I just don't like DSLR cameras, like the very complicated ones. Now, I know that you can do way more with the DSLR instead of like an iPhone camera, but I think in just use of a lot of like variables, like DSLR cameras are just too complicated. Like, I know that there's some people who like them better than smartphone cameras, but honestly, I feel like smartphone cameras, like, they feel more simple and they feel easier to navigate and stuff. But I tried shooting, if you guys saw in the Beanie Baby stop motion video I did recently, I tried shooting that with the DSLR, but honestly, it was just so difficult, so I just used my phone camera, and I think it works pretty well. It actually looks way better now because I have good lighting. But yeah, so that's just my opinion. I just feel like DSLR cameras, and I just feel like they're way too expensive too for what you get, especially like kind of like the cheaper brands. I can maybe understand like Canon or something like that. So yeah, that's number three. Number four is Jar Jar Binks is overhated. So I've talked about the Star Wars movies in a ranking I did almost a year ago now, actually, and I don't think Jar Jar Binks deserves the hate that he gets. Now, I know that some people really hate him, but honestly, I don't really find him that annoying. I mean, sure, he is not really supposed to be there compared to the other characters, but I don't think he's that bad of a character. I just see him as a lackluster comic relief. I think people are kind of too harsh on Jar Jar Binks. And I feel like it's kind of taken a toll on the Jar Jar Binks, like, actor, and that kind of sucks because I feel like sometimes people associate you with that character. And I feel like that's kind of what happened with Jake Lloyd as Anakin Skywalker, too. And I don't like it when that happens because it's kind of unfair to associate that character with the actor. That's just my opinion. But honestly, like, Jar Jar Binks, I just don't think he's that terrible of a character. I think the Star Wars community, like, they hate him very much. And I'm just like, whatever. It's just like, I don't think he's that terrible of a character. So yeah, that's number 4. Number 5 is I hate modern internet slang. Now, I feel like a bit of a boomer is gonna come out of me, but honestly, like, the slang that's happened in these last few years, I just find it so annoying. The ones that I feel like I hate the most are drip, only happens on Ohio, and a couple other ones, and I'm just like, ugh. Oh, Riz is a bad one too. It's just like, I don't get why people just can't use normal words. Like, I know that Riz can, like, imply that you have the ability to pick up a date or something like that, but drip is just one I don't get. Like, I just don't get how it associates with the clothing. Like, I just think it just makes me cringe every time I hear, especially drip and Riz are the ones I hate the most. And I also hate the only in Ohio thing. Oh, mid is bad too. I hate mid. Like, when people say mid, like, it used to mean that it's just like average, but now people say mid when it's bad, and that's not what the original word meant. But I don't know, I just might be annoying. But honestly, like, I just hate a lot of the modern TikTok slang and stuff like that. Number 6 is SpongeBob should end. Now, I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion anymore, but I don't know when else I'm gonna be talking about this because SpongeBob is kind of like Simpsons, to where it just feels like it's been past its prime for many years now. And I know that for SpongeBob there was a little bit of a better, like, comeback to when Steven Hillenburg came back to the show, but now that he passed away, it just feels like they're really disrespecting his creation because, like, in my opinion, this might be very unpopular. Like, this is kind of like a sub-unpopular opinion. I think if SpongeBob ends, Nickelodeon is not gonna survive because basically SpongeBob is Nickelodeon's lifeline. Like, Nickelodeon, pretty much almost all of their shows have either been canceled or they just ended. And I feel like just Nickelodeon is just not as good as it used to be. SpongeBob, if they end SpongeBob, which I want them to, but it's also going to come at the cost of Nickelodeon because they just are they don't really have any ideas left that have actually worked. Like, Sanjay and Cray got canceled. Every show that they try to do a little bit different, it doesn't work out. So I just think SpongeBob should end, and I just feel like Nickelodeon should kind of go out with a bang. And when SpongeBob ends, which I hope it does soon, because even though I love SpongeBob, the seasons 1 to 3 are my favorite, but ever since then, it just feels like SpongeBob has been overstaying its welcome. I think Nickelodeon should probably just not exist anymore because they just can't make anything other than SpongeBob in that horrible Camp Coral show. Number 7 is Islands of Adventure is better than Universal. Now, I mentioned this in the Everything Park that I've been to ranking video, and I'm not going to say that Universal is bad. I think it's actually really good, but I just think Islands of Adventure, I think, is a little underrated. Now, I know people say that Universal kind of has, like, more of the classic attractions, which that is kind of true, but I've always preferred Islands of Adventure with the rides that they have. And now that Velocicoaster is now at Islands of Adventure, it just feels like Islands of Adventure just has really good rides. And one thing I like about Islands of Adventure more than Universal is that the Harry Potter section, I think, in Islands of Adventure is a lot better. Especially the ride Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, because it's not entirely screens, basically. So yeah, that's number 7. Number 8 is TikTok will become defunct in the next few years. Now, I mentioned that I hated TikTok in the second Unpopular Opinions video, but now that TikTok is getting almost kind of a ban because Montana actually banned TikTok entirely. People are talking about like the Restrict Act and stuff like that. That's what I don't like. Like, even though I don't really do anything that's like suspicious to the government or anything, that's the thing I don't like. Now, I don't mind TikTok getting banned at all. I think it's a terrible platform. But honestly, like, I just feel like the Restrict Act, it sucks. I don't want that to happen. But I feel like people are not talking about that enough, and people are more talking about TikTok getting banned. Compared to 3 years ago when Donald Trump tried to ban it, it feels like there's not as much of a pushback or an outrage as there was a couple of years ago. It's either maybe because people are realizing that TikTok is a toxic platform, or it's that only like the few like TikTok big influencers are really wanting to defend it. It's just, I think I feel like if TikTok was banned, not with the Restrict Act, but if it got banned, I know that some people say it violates the First Amendment, which I think the Restrict Act does. But I just feel like if TikTok got banned, I feel like some people would be happier. Like, and I've heard people say that they just scroll on TikTok for hours on end and don't even know that they're scrolling for hours. I feel like it could kind of improve like the happiness of people. And I know that social media, there's other social media that has that, like Snapchat and Instagram, but Snapchat has not been relevant for years. I just feel like TikTok is probably the most addictive social media platform we probably ever had. Like, it's so addictive to some people. And honestly, I'm glad I'm not on it. I mean, I have an account, but I tried it multiple times and I just can't do it. Like, I just never get into it. But yeah, so I think TikTok should be banned, but the Restrict Act should not be a thing. So that's just kind of my opinion, but I know some people will disagree with me, but that's okay. So yeah, it's number 8. Number 9 is I like 2D animation better than 3D. I like the hand-drawn style more. And the reason I do, it just kind of brings out more of the colors, and it kind of brings out more of an old-fashioned vibe. And I'm just really sad that most movies, or pretty much all of them now, are 3D animated. Now, I don't hate 3D animation, but I just feel like Disney, especially, has not done a 2D animation film since Princess and the Frog. And I don't really like that movie that much, but I do like that it's the 2D animated. I just feel like there should be a little bit more of a variety other than 3D animated movies. I mean, I know that it's more like, it's easier to do and you don't have to draw individual pages, but it just doesn't seem like there's enough variety with these animated movies. Now, I did mention a show or a pilot that's actually come out on YouTube recently called Lackadaisy. Holy crap, please watch it, because I mentioned that in my YouTube short, and I think it's one of the best YouTube pilots I've ever seen. Like, I think they've been working on it for like 3 years, and it looks amazing. Like, I wasn't familiar with the comic before, but holy crap, it looks so amazing. I hope this show happens, but it's gonna be hard to pull off. But hopefully they can do it, because I really love the characters, and I love that it's in 2D animation, which if they probably did 3D animation, and I was looking at the comics after I saw it, it just wouldn't seem right if it was 3D animated, but I'm glad they're doing like the 2D animation. It probably was digital, but digital 2D animation and hand-drawn, I really love that type of style. And I just wish there was more variety to it other than 3D animation. But hopefully some of these like indie, like independent, like movie makers will maybe do 2D animation more. But yeah, that's number 9. Number 10 is Starbucks sucks. Like, it's just, I don't get it. Now, some people say that Starbucks has really good coffee. I just don't think it's good. Like, I just think, one, it's so overpriced, like insanely overpriced. And even before, because everything has gotten expensive basically, like, it just feels like everything's expensive now. But even before this whole inflation thing happened, Starbucks was very overpriced. And I just think the flavor for most of them is bad. It just feels like people go crazy over it, and I just don't think it is good. I just think it sucks. That might not be an unpopular opinion that much, but I think Starbucks sucks. Like, the flavor just is not good. There's so many other better coffee places that are like independent, like family owned and stuff like that, and I just don't like that Starbucks is kind of dominating this coffee market, because I just think the flavor is terrible. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I know this is kind of another video that I did before, but thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.